Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Cookiecast. Today on Cookiecast, it's a little bit of something different. I've been talking for a while about getting some new audio equipment for the podcast, and I finally bit the bullet and did it. It all turned up at the house, and I thought, rather than just tearing the packages open, trying to put it together and having what I'm sure was going to be an absolute nightmare, I'd take you guys along for the ride. So I recorded it, I videoed it, and this is the result. It's technically 2 parts, but you'll see why that is. But it is one long video stroke podcast type thing. So yeah, not sure what it's really called. Podcast audio or something. I'll name it in a minute. So yeah, just look at what the name was. So here we go. This is Cookiecast audio setup podcast. Yeah. Head on the screen.
Sounds going.
So you see that tiny little thing? That was you talking.
I can't be talking like this all the time.
Well, that would actually be better if you could.
Well, why don't I just bring it up?
Put it on the arm or something.
Because otherwise, and I talk in this voice, this isn't loud enough.
I mean, that's just barely registering. Although my
Obviously,
voice
I'm facing
is
the other
barely
way.
registering.
What about facing this way?
Again.
Microphone 1, microphone 2.
You're just a copier. You just copy everything.
How about now?
I mean, that right there.
Is this good?
That's better than me.
Okay.
I'm not looking in the right direction. I mean, that's just barely my voice isn't registering. I mean, these are the things that people tune in for.
Yeah, to listen to us talking to microphones.
Trying to work out where. Oh, there's probably a blockage. There's probably a sound barrier.
A blockage in your toilet.
Did you fix it?
Okay, right.
Right, okay.
Let's crack on and be serious.
I can move the table then.
Sorry, it's the monitor.
If somebody hasn't put anything on there, that'd be cool.
No, it's not over.
I'll have something over in a minute. Right, so. Where do we even start? Back in the original days of the podcast, before there was a podcast.
What podcast?
Cookiecast.
Oh, yeah. It's Cookiecast, people.
Is that your attempt to keep things on track?
No, it was just I thought you were going to launch into what you were doing without saying.
Well, no, I was going to give a bit of history.
Okay.
The idea was to do a podcast for no money whatsoever. Obviously, that didn't go very well.
Oh, you mean not paying out?
Yeah,
not paying out the least as possible, yeah.
I wanted to do it for free, which, I mean, that's not the case. I pay a monthly subscription fee to get this out into the world. Kind of wrote off the laptop as an expense because the laptop has had other uses. Some. And the first thing that was an issue was I didn't have a microphone, and I borrowed one, and I couldn't get the one I borrowed to work the way I wanted it to, or at all. In hindsight, I think that was a setting on the laptop. I don't know if that was actually anything to do with the microphone. So then tried a multitude of different things, couldn't get anything to work. So in the end, had to spend the princely sum of £20 to get the microphone that somebody just dropped on the floor. For all you audio listeners. For the video people, for the YouTubes, you'll have seen the microphone that just dropped on the floor. But for this camera, it's this guy here, which I'm sure will be picking me up even better now. Oh, look at the big one. But it's sitting on the table for now. Then we got some cameras. Then we got another microphone. for bigger spaces and things like that. And it was just a progression. I've tried to keep the cost down rather than doing it for free past a certain point. There's been some changes, some moves, some various different things. Moving back into this room, don't know why, don't know what's happened, don't know what the deal with the room is, but this room and these two microphones don't get on.
Maybe it was always like that, but you didn't know any different at the time because you always did the podcasting in here. So you took it that was acceptable.
One microphone in here. It was only
okay.
The room move happened.
That you got a second one.
And we got a better result with two microphones. However,
with the bigger space.
If you've listened to the last one was okay, but if you've listened to any of the whole avocado, Luke sits there, and then that microphone pointing at him, and he sounds perfectly fine, like he's talking into a microphone. And I sit there, and I have the microphone there, and I sound like I'm down the hall. I can barely be heard at times. And it's just... I was having a conversation with somebody the other day saying if you boil it all the way back down to the original idea, you're trying to do a podcast, which is audio. And if you can't provide good, clean, quality audio, then you're failing straight off the bat. So, did a load of research under NAD on the Darkest Timeline podcast. I've mentioned a couple of things about looking at ways to improve things, and anybody who's watching on YouTube and anybody who's listening, jump over to YouTube right now because you'll be able to see on the camera that I'm definitely going to switch to right about now. This big pile of boxes. Anybody who can see or knows, obviously these are Amazon boxes that arrived at our house on Friday. At this point it's Sunday. That could be a record. Anybody who can see, there's a little guy up here, a medium one and a big one. These boxes contain what I'm hoping is going to be the answer. Me and technology have a complex relationship. That relationship is I like technology, but it doesn't always like me. So I was like, what if I record what is ultimately going to be me losing my shit when all of these boxes don't turn into something that works, and put it out as some kind of like, I don't think it'll be a video tutorial, it'll be like a mini podcast type thing. I'm sure that some of it is going to sound amazing because it's going to be me opening cardboard, which I didn't think of.
It shouldn't be too bad because
I've got some scissors
to cut.
Scissors, heavy duty scissors.
Cut the tape and cut the cardboard.
So, as we all know in life, the best things come in small packages. So I think we'll start with the little guy.
Go for it then.
That might need some careful editing. Just make a note of the time on that one. Pretty sure I've just shown the world what the address of the house is. Right, here we go. So,
right. Open it up.
First,
what do you know what's in here?
Of the three, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is probably the cable I ordered.
Okay.
Ooh, look at that guy. So it's got that braided cable stuff.
You need to take that packaging away.
So, this is the second cable I ordered. I placed an order which involved all of these, and when the order went through and I checked the order, these two big boys were going to turn up the next day, and the cable I ordered wasn't going to turn up for a couple of weeks. And I'm like, well, that's no use to me, and if I'd known that was the case, I wouldn't have ordered it. So I cancelled the order for that, found this guy, which was a next day jobby, and here we are. So this is absolutely does not say on it. And this, I'm sure, sounds amazing. It's a splitter. It's got a red and a white, and somewhere in there is like a headphone jack. So the theory is that this is going to take the audio that's going into the mixer, which is in one of these boxes, out of the mixer into the laptop to be recorded. That's the idea. Whether it works like that, the internet said so. So that is what that is, and I'm going to make even more noise by putting it there on the table and getting rid of this guy. Obviously, we'll probably just need some work on. Can you still see me? You'll be able to see me. You still love me. So this is the next biggest box. The weirdest thing is, you took these parcels. Do you remember what order they turned up in? Was it the big one, or was it this?
No, it was the DPD one.
So, according to the way things have been delivered and the tracking on them, this, which is the smaller of the two boxes, is supposedly 4 microphones with stands and things, like arms and all sorts of other stuff. I can't believe that's true when looking at this box here. So,
did you have to pay postage on one of them?
It was all Prime.
Okay.
I think one was just coming from... This should be the mixer, because that was not coming from Amazon, but it still had Prime delivery.
Okay.
Anyway, let's make some noise. Make some noise! And get this guy open. And I have to remember to open it this way round, so that when I open it, I don't yet again flash the freaking address. Shoulda. Okay, so...
What have you got? Talk to us.
Okay, so... This looks to be the mixer. So... Yeah, it is.
Oof.
Just make sure there's nothing random in the box other than...
Bubble wrap. That'd be good listening.
There's something you can do to make... Is it jelly? You get a syringe and fill bubble wrap.
Why?
Just to make little jellies. Right, so this is the...
Mixer.
Mixer. That's definitely not the name of the mixer that I ordered. So that's a great start.
Looks like the one you were looking at. But then again, do all mixers just...
Well, the name is on there. I paid more money. Oh no. It's there in the bottom. No, that's the name of the mixer. So that'll just be the product. So this is a premium 12 input 2-bus mixer with Xenix mic preamps, British EQs and multi-FX processor. Now I paid more money for the FX processor, not because I needed it, because if I was spending the money to get this, I was working on things, well I might as well spend more money in case in the future it's needed, than spending less money, getting further down the line and going, I really needed that thing. I honestly don't know what FX, quote unquote, FX will need, but
it was
the price difference was £20, and I was like, I'm buying all this stuff for the future in theory. So I'm always the same, spend that little bit more, get what you need, and then set yourself up for years. You know, there might come a time where this might need to be replaced with something else, or something different, or something better. I was saying to you about how there was a recorder that would have done absolutely everything we wanted, and it was like this big. It was tiny, like a foot if you're not watching. Not even a foot. It was like, I don't know, it was this big. And I was like, well, that does absolutely everything I want it to do. I'll just get that. Did a search when I ended up on Amazon. Right, what's this guy all about? That guy was all about £621. So, not sticking in the doing things on the cheap. This is the mixer. My theory, my thought process is that this will accept 4 microphones. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll take the audio out over here and put what's going into the mixer out there into the laptop. We have 4 people talking at once, 4 people with individual sounds, and that sound will be infinitely better than some of the sound and audio problems we've had recently. That's the idea. The microphones that we've got, I'll go through my thought process behind that, because there's probably elements of stuff that I've bought that aren't needed because of this. There's this thing called Phantom Power. I know nothing about it other than the type of microphones I've got need it. They come with things and adapters and ways to give the microphones phantom power. However, all of that resulted in their output being USB, where a situation with 4 microphones with 4 USBs and 2 USB ports wasn't going to work. I'd have to start looking at splitters and how that would affect the audio and so on and so forth. None of that was going to be any good. And I couldn't see it working. I've had to do various things just to get 2 microphones working, so on and so forth. This apparently has phantom power built in, which I believe, again for you YouTube watchers, is this guy here. I believe. I don't know. This is a lot of guesswork. I watched a video today where somebody was setting one of these up. I've watched 2/3 of the video. I'm sure it'll all be fine. So the idea is that I'm going to unbox all of this, look at it all over, set them up as much as possible, and then we'll have to have like a break and then attempt to switch the audio over. So there's going to be a weird point in time where in theory there's going to be no audio, which is not really what I wanted. But I'll try and get it as close to the wire as possible. I'll try and get absolutely everything plugged in and then just make, in theory, what is going to be a switch. So that guy can go there to make more noise with that crinkly bit of something. This guy, I'll probably have to open there, because I think if I put it on my knee, I mean, how heavy is it? Can you still see me? Right, a little bit more noise. I asked Leanne to join me on this one because, like I said, ultimately there's going to be a point where I absolutely lose my shit. And her job will be to stop me from going Hulk smash on everything and remind me that it's just stuff. Right, can I get back in here?
How well you'll be able to be heard because your microphone's blocked and your curtain.
Right, so we've got some blue bubbles. Oh, you definitely won't be able to see me now. And you never know. Hear you. Bloody well see you. Right, let's take that guy out. And maybe move. Do you want to hold that for me?
I think you.
I'll move this off for you.
Oh, you've just crushed your microphone.
I'm sure that sounded amazing. Right. This doesn't give a lot away, other than the fact that we've definitely got some. Can I say that? Am I not allowed to say that? I might not be able to say that. The box doesn't give a lot away, so it's got a thing that says what it is. It's got a tiny little thing here, says what it is. Might have to open one.
got a lot of text on this end.
A lot of text. Whoa! Manufacturer's information. It just says who imported it.
Okay. Open it up then.
Okay, so let's unpick this guy here. I did see an unboxing video of this. This is like an oh, maybe I could become famous from doing an unboxing video. Like that kid that became a millionaire. I shouldn't open it that way. I should open it like this.
Yeah.
And then I won't be able to see it, so I won't be able to talk about anything.
Ooh.
Can you see?
Is it microphony?
There's a microphone there.
I could just see a spongy thing.
Oh yeah, wind guard.
Ah.
Do you want to touch it?
No.
Do you want to lick it?
I don't want...
Do you want me to...
I don't want you to touch it.
Do you want me to put it in your mouth? Do you want me to rub it against this foam?
Stop it.
So Leanne...
this is not the video.
Leanne has a thing about foam.
Oh, I've gone cold.
Yeah?
That's not too bad.
Yeah? Cool. This is, I think they're called spit guards. But what I understand them to be is, obviously it protects your microphone from spit. But I think it's something to do with P's, when people do puh, puh, puh. And the audio jumps. I've just seen it on there. The audio goes puh, puh, puh. The idea is that these soften your P's, and then you don't get that jump and that not great sound. So that's what that's supposed to be. Right. That is ultimately what. That absolutely is not ultimately what we were after.
It looks like it plugs into the car lighter port.
Oh, that's not good. That's absolutely not what we were looking for. So that's going to be fun.
What is that?
That is an XLR cable. I think that's a male to a headphone jack. But that isn't what we were after.
Okay.
Maybe those will all become clear further down the line. This is our microphone.
Ooh, fancy.
Which you add the foam to if you want a wind guard. There's a piece here, which is super snazzy. So your microphone goes in there, then that goes on the front of it, and so on and so forth. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm panicking a little that I've bought 4 microphones that aren't what I want. This is USB, and this was part of the problem, because I don't want USB, I want XLR. I'm hoping, because I can see another XLR cable here, and my hope is that the other end of that cable is what we are wanting, and that was the idea. So, the other thing is, this has got a box. Can you get it? It's got a box here. I don't know if you can see. This box, I don't want to unwrap it because this is the bit I don't think I need. But I'll try and make it. I don't know if you can see. Can you see that?
I can see 2 inputs.
So there's ports. There's a port there. There's a button. This is phantom power. And the idea is that you've got input, output, and this is USB. So this is USB 5 volt. So the idea being is that you plug this in, you use your USB to get out into your laptop, your computer, whatever. You're in, and then you're out. We don't, in theory, need any of that.
Because it's going to be plugged into the mixer.
So it's going to be plugged into the mixer.
Right.
So the theory is that the phantom power is not needed. I have got a little USB adapter.
USB to what?
So that's a microphone in, and that is some sort of sound piece. In here is also a desk stand. So this is what we're going to be using, if all of this works, to attach to the shelves, the windowsills, the other shelves, to get the microphones to stand and be able to put them in people's faces and do that stuff. There's a user manual, which I'm really hoping tells us how to put all of this together. I've saved this bit till last because this is very much like Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is our only hope. My fear, and I've got something in my Amazon basket now to combat this fear, is that the cable that comes out the bottom of this stand isn't going to be long enough. That's my fear. I've already got some really long cables in my Amazon basket, and if my fear is realised and the cable's not long enough, then I'll just order those. I believe you can also get adapters so you can plug a cable into a cable. Don't know how that would affect the sound. So this is going to be the arm. They'll come out of the box. Okay, so there's some length of cable there, and we have a male and a female XLR cable. That is what we were looking for. Sizes look a bit strange.
Why has it got two XLR cables?
Because one goes into the microphone,
and
one goes... That looks really small.
I don't understand.
Obviously, like I say, there is a lot of panic happening right now. I'm hoping that I'm covering it well. I doubt I am.
Like I said, if it's not what you want, then it's going back.
Goes into the microphone, perfectly fine. It's that out. That's the bit we don't need. Right. As I tell my children, never throw the instructions away. Don't throw the box away until you've read the instructions. I have been very hit and miss with instructions throughout my life. Apparently there's only 10 pages.
Is the principle that the other end of that cable would plug straight into the mixer?
That's the theory.
Okay.
Thoroughly read the instruction manual before assembly. Retain the instruction manual for future reference. I mean, it's almost like exactly what I tell my children.
So why wouldn't the first cable do the job if the XLR bit goes into the microphone?
So this is telling us, because we don't need half of this stuff. This is part of the problem. I was ordering this microphone, but I didn't need half of it. No,
I get that, but I just wondered why didn't say there was a headphone jack on the other end of that.
I don't know how it thinks it's going to work. I imagine it's going to tell us as part of the setup.
Yeah, okay.
So this is giving us a step-by-step setup for all of the bits here. Once it reaches a certain point, we would be bailing. Okay. So what that says is that cable goes as your output. So why has it also got USB? That must be a power. That must be how it's powered. It must be powered off USB. If your computer has only one audio port, a USB external sound card, not included, is required. Turn down the volume of the computer before connecting phantom power with microphone. And that's basically it. It tells us how to plug all of this together, and it tells us how to kind of get it into the laptop. I believe that there is what it would use would be 2 USBs. It would use this and it would use this. From what I'm looking at here, I think it uses this for power, because that's a power cable. And it would use this for audio plugged into this coming off that. So it powers that box to take the sound in and out. In theory, we don't want any of that. So, I think what we're going to do is put this together.
Okay.
But I think we're going to put this together the way that we want it to go together rather than the way these guys do.
Yeah.
I don't think that cable is long enough, is ultimately long enough for what I want, but it could be just long enough for today's.
So does that cable plug into the mixer?
Yes.
Right.
My fear is that is too small, but I would have thought XLR cables would all be the same size. So, I don't know. That might be something to test straight away.
Okay.
But that would involve opening the mixer straight away. So I don't know.
We need to get cracking.
Yeah, I do. Which bit am I doing? This bit. Right. Unpack the microphone set and ensure all parts and accessories are present.
Okay.
I think we've done that. There's a list. I'm pretty sure everything's here. Fix the desk mount clamp onto the edge of a desk. Note, the desktop must be less than 1.8 inches in thickness. Well, I'm going to plug this into this. Plug it in. I'm going to secure this to this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to do that?
Can do.
Because I don't know if I'm getting up and down too easily. This rustling must be amazing.
Rustle.
Wind this guy out a bit. Quality seems to be pretty good. It seems pretty sturdy at the moment.
What's the back? That bit? What's that adjusted?
That tightens the cuff. Something like that.
Okay.
You want to put that there?
Does it go that way?
No. Mind your foot. So my glamorous assistant is now going to attach the desk, what we call this, desk mount clamp on the edge of the desk. This is not a desk, this is a shelving unit. Insert the foot base, black, of the adjustable arm stand into the desk mounting clamp and tighten the screw. That is this guy, which we were already worrying about. So, a bit more rustly. Do you guys think I should have unpacked all of this before recording? Would it have been better?
Then you wouldn't have put the reveal.
Well, that's what I was thinking about.
What is that?
The reveal, it's where you...
Oh, it's the arm for the microphone.
So, the black goes into the hole and then it gets tightened up. Take from that what you will. I'm just stating what it says in the book.
Way this way.
Please.
That thing? Right.
I'm helping. Look, I'm helping. I'm going to go quite tight, I reckon.
Yeah. Do you want me to take the
Just
little...
yeah, that'll need to come off. Okay. It's going well so
quite
far.
well. But if you had 4 microphones, so you mix
I'd be well, the mixer's going to go in the middle of the room.
central.
But that's not going to reach. I mean, I'm going to have to put the mixer here.
Yeah.
Here. Okay. Number 4. Screw the shock mount into the threaded end of the adjustable arm stand. That's this guy.
Okay.
You are with us so far. They're with us. Now, there wasn't anything in the instructions about not eating the silica gel. So,
Says it on the packet, doesn't it?
do I eat that while you're doing this? Or...
We were pretty hungry before we
I
started.
was. I thought we were eating tea before this. I don't... Throw away, do not eat. Damn it.
This goes on here.
It does.
And I spin the whole thing round, does it? It seems a bit.
Yeah.
Bit over the
You're going
top.
to give me that so you're not trying to hold something and do something. So, yeah.
Nelly. Can do two. That's facing the wrong way.
It isn't.
Huh?
Because you're going to unscrew that.
Ah.
You're going to flip it up, aren't you? Number 5. Insert the condenser microphone into the shock mount.
So that stays upright. Or you want it like that?
No, upright.
Upright.
I mean, it'll be personal preference for the person or people that are using it. Steady on. Because I presume the option would be to flip it round
And have it on the bottom.
and have it upside down.
Yeah.
Would it not?
Don't know if
Well, that's a screw there.
Okay.
You might not be able to see it.
No, I couldn't.
I can't get in.
I thought I'd bring it closer so it's
Like
more
every
visible.
relationship, I can't get in. Oh, can you see that now? Right. So this says insert the condenser microphone into the shock mount. Yes or no?
Yep.
Uh,
Oh, that's tight.
she said.
Oh, it was soft on the inside.
Oh. It's got these two little things. Push that like that. And let go, I'm guessing. Fix the... it's a pop filter. Fix the...
It needs to go forward a little bit.
Right, so pull those and push. Fix the pop filter on the adjustable arm stand to complete the assembly. Well, I'm going to completion, baby.
I've not plugged it in, but
Haven't got this plug in.
no.
So this goes on. I'll give it to you. There isn't overly a picture that would
just go on the
it
back.
says it goes. Yeah. Fit it on the adjustable arm stand to complete the assembly. Oh, so it goes over the two bars.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But where?
So yeah, put it on there and then bring that in front. So yeah, that's it. And then just you'll want to go the bottom on. I'm telling you, you know how to work that out. Right, this is the bit that I personally believe we don't need. So it's now saying about plugging the non-USB end of the USB cable included into the, and this is it. It's talking about power on the phantom power, and then plug the USB end of the cable into the USB power adapter. Not included.
What's not included?
The USB power adapter.
Okay.
Plug the male connection of the XLR cable built in the microphone arm stand to the input of the phantom power. Then plug the female connector to the microphone. So you plug the microphone in last. Plug the female connector of the XLR cable into the output of the phantom power. Note if your computer only has one audio port, and then there's a thing about turning things down and so on and so forth. Yeah, I don't know if you put it straight.
No, because it seems to be hanging right off the edge of the top there.
Is it not like that? No, that would be unscrewed, wouldn't it? Have you unscrewed it so it's not catching?
Maybe. I'll look at this. You can.
Right, so in my head, doing all of the research that I could, I believe we don't need anything else in this box, apart from obviously this guy. My belief is that we don't need anything else in the box because the mixer is going to do the rest of the job for us. That is my belief. That is what has brought me to this point. That is the way I am working this. So, at this point in time, the theory should be that I should be able to close this box, not needing anything else. Feels a bit wasteful, I know, but when I looked at various options, this was the cheapest way to do it right, if that makes sense. And I imagine that this stuff would potentially have a usage for other things in the future, if for like portability and stuff, things like that, if there's just a 2-man setup. How's that gone? Has that gone okay in the end? It does look like it's a bit weighty.
That, I can't get the arm to come back up now.
Oh.
It's not holding on very tight.
Well, presumably when the arm moves, it will expand and contract. Part of the reason is that this just attach to one of these bars? Is that part of the problem? Because this will open and close.
Oh, okay. Is that what's...
So is it a case where you have to take it off, open it like that, put it on one bar?
Ah, okay, yeah.
Because that opens and closes. I only know that because I used to have a desk lamp that had the same arm.
I just thought I'm probably not even audible on
Audible. At this point in time, this box has just got like microphones in, and what my intention would be is I'd like to plug 2 in so that we can both go back onto being on audio. I think I need to get the mixer out of the box, and I think I need to test this cable here. I've got a horrible feeling this is too small. And I could keep saying I'm hiding the panic because... Well, there's only one way to find out. Have you attached this?
It is now attached. I'll try to bend it round. It might need bringing closer to actually serve its purpose.
I mean, the idea is that you would talk like this. Not not like
do a podcast.
Not like this. No, not like this. Talking like it's plugged in, it isn't plugged in.
I mean, that's as far as it gets.
It might have to go on that table. Logistically, we would have to work things out. I don't know whether it can come down and under if it goes
it
at the end.
Further to the end.
And go like under here. Like I said, this... Just go careful. Oh, yeah. That's not. This could spin underneath, could it not?
Well, it could spin
and then spin
anywhere
round
and
be
back.
here.
Yeah.
So, I think at this point in time, I'm just going to move that a little. I think we need to get the mixer out. This is either fascinating or not. I don't know which. I think you guys will be able to tell better by the fact that I imagine if you don't think it's fascinating, you've probably turned it off by now. Right. I'm seeing instruction manual. Whew. Oh, she's a big boy. For audio listeners, this is an A4 4 booklet. What I'm going to say is all of my talking earlier about how you should always read the instructions, you should always keep the instructions, you should do all of those things. I am now going to discard these instructions in the hope that I don't need to look at them. We'll come back to that statement in a bit. Okay.
What can you see?
I'm seeing, for you guys that are watching on the YouTubes, I can see that. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I bet in this side here, there's going to be some sort of power, and this is going to be the mixer. So let's find out. I generally would always go for the power, which that answers that question. Got a power plug and things. I mean, there's a lot of meat there, a lot of meat on the bone there. I'm going to pass that to my glamorous assistant, allow her to start stripping that down. And I'm going to carefully, he says, remove that from there. I just want...
Take the box.
Well, I'm going to put some bits back in the box.
Okay.
That goes back in the box. That goes back. You get a car. You get a car. That might go in the box with a bit of jiggling. Now you can take the box from me.
What's in the box?
Put it in there. I don't know. I can't tell. This here, ladies and gentlemen, is the Behringer. Sounds like Derringer. All of that stuff that I said earlier that I'm not going to go and grab the box and try and read it all out to you again. The reason I went with this one is, again, there was a cheaper version that didn't have the FX, and there was a then even cheaper version that only had 2 microphones. The reason that I've gone with 4 microphones is because I'm working on the principle that if you think about a football podcast, there's 3 of us. And if you think about a football podcast where Stu has joined us, there's 4 of us. I think there might be, way back in the archives, if you go and have a look, there's like Zombie Cast where there might be more than 4 people. In that scenario, I would just go back to using the USB mics. And I believe there was a bullshit cast that might have had like 5 people or something. Various different things and various stuff. But I'm working on the principle on our bread and butter podcast and our meat and 2 veg. The minimum's going to be 2, the maximum's going to be 4. I believe my glamorous assistant may have unwrapped this, but also might need a pair of scissors.
Yeah, probably quicker.
So I'm going to give you that. We're about to answer the one question that is on everybody's mind right now. Anybody who knows audio is right now sitting at home going, prepare yourself for a shock, dickhead, because you've got the wrong thing. Because of panic. So, here we go. Oh, there's another silica gel, so looks like I'm going to be dining out tonight. I honestly don't think that was going to go in there. I don't want to force anything either. Okay, right, there's a groove.
Presumably, like you're saying, it's one standard
One size fits all.
It doesn't look good though. Has it got the right number of nodules and things?
It's 3-prong. There's a groove here which would match up with a groove there.
It doesn't look like it wants to go.
It doesn't look like it wants to go. I'm more confident now than I was.
Because of the groove. There's a little, it looks like a little something.
Oh!
Whee!
We're in.
We have power.
We don't have power at all.
No,
We've
don't.
got...
I feel like that was a line from Jurassic Park.
Alright. We're plugged in. Our one microphone at this point in time is plugged in.
I'm going to plug the plug in.
Now then, there's an out and a CD tape. I believe it is just the out. What I'd be tempted to do at this point in time...
I'm going to leave that with you.
I'm not... Yeah, leave it with me, but I'm not going to... I think we need to get that other another microphone out.
Okay.
And I think we need to plug all of that stuff in the fastest time possible while still recording.
Okay.
I think we've got some kind of something going on. What I'm loving right at this moment in time is that this mixer cable has gone into a plug in that corner that anybody who's listening won't be able to see, but anybody who's watching won't be there. Right over in that corner, and it's currently, I'm holding it here.
And it's gone the long way round.
And it's gone all the way around the back of the cameras. This I am loving.
Do you want to pass me a box?
So, what's the best way to get this done? Do you want me to just pass you the bits in turn? So, can we... Well, this is the thing. We've not got a lot of slack this side. This, I don't want to knock it off. What if you take that glass of water far, far away to a galaxy? And I... Oh! Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm good.
Scissors, move.
Okay.
Right. Well, it's not going to go anywhere like that.
Ow.
That must have hurt.
It was just a bit sharp.
What, the corner of a metal object was sharp? You did get a corner of it. Right, back in the box. Get back in the box.
Where are the
So this
unit
is going to that unit, but you see where the cameras are? The cameras that aren't in use right now. I'm thinking it's going on there.
Yeah, okay.
But what?
Keeps it level.
What if it goes next one down?
Because then it's more underneath.
What if that one went down?
Yeah, and then it's more angled up towards your mouth.
All things that we can work out further in time. Right.
So, quick fire.
So, quick fire round. Who can remember what goes first? I want somebody to tell me right now without looking at the instructions.
I will take the stand first because I can be.
So, I'll just do that. So, you actually need... Oh, this is a different... Oh, I opened it towards the camera, didn't I? I'm looking for that guy. So, you need to stand. Great audio. Get this guy down. How far was it? Was it far or not far?
No, not too far. Less than half. I keep forgetting I put the microphone down to be able to move, and then...
You go with that. Just remember that the black one was a little screwed in. I'll just start unwrapping stuff and making audio joy. Pop filter, phone.
Can't turn round enough.
No? I should be unwrapping stuff in order.
This is, for anyone listening at home, this is essentially not very interesting.
No, but we're trying to do this. Trying to do this for you guys. There's Bloodin podcasters, these out there that are going to watch this video and be like... And you know, part of the reason that I did this video, or I wanted to do this video, was because it took me 3 weeks to order all this equipment. And the reason it took me 3 weeks to order all this equipment was because I couldn't find the piece of information I needed. And that was, can I plug 4 microphones into a mixer? Sounds simple, doesn't it? And do you know where I found the answer? I found the answer on Amazon. And on Amazon, it told me that the mixer I was looking at buying would in fact accept 4 microphones and would in fact accept it in a particular way, and all you had to do...
Stand next.
I'm just trying to work out... Yeah, I know you need to stand next. What was I saying? I was saying something about Amazon and the way I found the information.
Yeah, Amazon questions are always really useful.
But I never knew you could actually search the questions.
Oh, I didn't know
There's
that.
a search function on the questions, and you just type in, and if it's got something that features, I just put in the question box 4 microphones, and I got 3 answers on Amazon of ways to connect 4 microphones to the mixer. And I was like, that is exactly... One person, I think it might have even been the first answer, one of the answers was, yes, you plug 4 microphones into line 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then you run a line out to whatever your recording device is and do that. And I'm like, that's the answer I've been looking for 3 weeks. What's happening here?
I'm struggling to work out how that bends the same way as that one. So that bends in the middle like that, so for the microphone end it goes that way. But to go into the clamp, that's going that way.
Right.
And then this section doesn't bend down.
I'm going to go out on them and say it must do, because this one does. Does it not just come all the way through?
And that's like, oh, there we go.
Yeah, I was going to say you need to bend that up to get it through to bend it down.
Right.
I have put the microphone and the foam and stuff in, and I've angled the arm, so in theory that should just screw on like that. And I'm going to unscrew this a touch to allow you... I don't know how much it needed, but I'm going to go with that to get it on. And then that should be it, yes?
Yep.
Okay, what I'll do is I'll give you that, and then I'll put this box away. And then we're somewhere close. What I will say is, whilst I've got you, because there'll be a small break, these cameras have audio. The audio is fairly terrible. I had thought about getting my portable recorder to use for the purpose of recording this small, fingers crossed, small piece of audio that is about to happen.
I should have done that the other way, shouldn't I?
Done what the other way?
Put the spit guard on the other way round to protect from this side.
Right, yeah, I get you. I'm so stupid. I'm just going to do this. What I've actually realised is that I'll actually have to physically stop the audio, because there is a thing about changing the audio input. Oh, that's absolutely spectacular, that is. When you get a chance, the bag for this is on the floor, out of... Well, I don't know if it's out of my reach. I'm just going to unwrap this. So, I've watched a multitude of videos at this point in time, and like I say, this has been cobbled together from various pieces of information on the internet. There was no hard, fast rule. There was no, this is how you do it, which to me was quite baffling. It really was a bit of a weird, like, how is this a thing sort of situation. So this cable here, in theory, is going to go into our out. This is going to plug into the microphone part of the laptop. Keep talking to that camera up there when there's a camera in front of me. These bits, look, I'll even start utilising the camera. These bits here, these are going to go into 2 ports on the mixer. That's interesting. Right, okay, I'm now a little befuddled. I thought I was going into these ports here, but I've just realised that these aren't the ports for these ports here. But I know for a fact that when I've watched videos, it's definitely these. I've just seen on this mixer that there is a main out, which is here. Left and right. Left is white, red is... No.
Do they even fit in there?
Left is white, red is right. So I'm thinking that those there, main out, sounds logical because everything else we've got like FX, phones, like these ports here are line-ins. I watched a video earlier that said that that's for if you want a guitar. I think main out sounds sensible to me. I saw a thing that said all of these knobs should be set to, like all these FX knobs are turned down. I'm hoping that's the right thing. I think that's the way to do this. We're going to find out whether it is very shortly, because I presume we've now got pretty much everything plugged in.
Yeah, just need to actually plug the microphones in.
Okay, well, I would say, can you just get that bag, please? And either put that in or give it to me. I would say we plug the microphones in. I can't see, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say, oh, so that went straight in. The button goes to the top and it just literally went straight in. Working on principle, that's a good thing. I don't know if I was pressing the button. No, there we go. We need this to go centrally.
Okay.
Okay. So maybe this table goes here. I need your cable. Now I have to have the same fight I had previously, but I should be able to. Yep, there we go. So for now, that's going to go there. That pen's really annoying.
It's not the pen.
Okay.
It must be the notebook.
Okay, then the notebook's really annoying. It's not going to go flat anyway. So, what do you think's best? Leave the cameras running? Stop the audio?
Yeah.
Because there'll be some kind of audio captured from... Just give the thing a wiggle and see if we're actually being picked up at all. We are. I think what we can do is if you press the pause button when we're ready, it'll pause the audio.
Okay.
I don't know if we can then make a change. Don't know if we will physically have to stop the audio. That was a lot of me saying I don't know, because I don't know.
Okay.
So
what needs to happen with this?
This needs to go into the microphone port. So that's the headphone jack.
on the laptop.
It needs to go into the microphone port on the laptop.
Okay.
We also then need to plug the power in and turn it on. And if things don't blow up, that's a good start for things. And then we have to somehow work out how to start recording
through that.
What's happening.
Do we have is there an audio setting to change?
So what you're supposed to do is change. Anybody that doesn't know, I use Audacity for audio recording. It's free. Get it. If you're going to do something like this, Audacity is money. When it comes to audio editing, it's a bit of a finicky bitch. I don't use it for audio editing, if I'm honest. I use a different program. It's the one I use for video editing. Long story. What I was told is that once you are running this, you need to change Audacity to line in. In theory, if this has got power and you're plugging it in, it should read as an input. That's what I'm told. And this was coming from something on the internet from somebody who was also using Audacity, and they said change it to line in. At this point in time, I don't think there's all that much else we can do other than trying it.
Okay.
So,
if
I give you that, it's on. I think it's on the left side because that's all the other ports.
Yeah. So am I going to pause this now?
Well, do you want to plug that in because that won't affect anything?
Okay.
There are two, so you might you might need to have a look. One will be. Oh no, there's only one. Okay, plug that in. Right, Audacity hasn't done anything, I don't think.
Are we still picking up?
Yeah, these mics are still being picked up. The only thing is, I wonder if we might have to physically unplug the microphones. As a USB type thing. Right, pause the audio now. Right, are we recording?
We're on? Yep, ready to roll.
Are you working? Am I working?
Looks like it.
Camera's working.
Camera 1, camera 2.
Got some blue lines going. Hear me better now? Hear me now? There you. We'll all see you. So as you can see, everybody watching on YouTube, and if you're not watching on YouTube, what you do with your life? This is a video tutorial.
Tutorial?
Well, it is. Comprehensive video tutorial of how to not set up a podcast. Those eagle-eyed viewers will see that this is definitely the same day. You can tell that by the clothes we're wearing. No, this is not the same day as the first part of this podcast or video tutorial. This is actually 2 days later.
2 days, yep.
I believe the first part was about 1 hour and 6 minutes or something like that. What I can tell you is that we stopped, we switched the audio, and as I predicted, it did not work. No surprises there. Can anyone tell me what I spent quite a long time saying about instruction manuals? Always read your instruction manuals, ladies and gentlemen. Always read your instruction manuals. Keep hold of them. Don't bin them before you've read them.
Or even after you've read them.
Or after you've read them. Well, no, afterwards. This instruction manual for connections and stuff has got pictures. It's got pictures. I'll hold it there so the camera can focus. Got pictures. Do you know what one of those pictures is? It's that one there. That one right there. YouTube. That picture has a little thing that says, note, if your computer has only one audio port, a USB external sound card, not included, is required. And there's a picture. And that picture is 3 little pictures with a tick next to 2 of them, and the third one has a cross next to it. Would anybody like to guess which of those three my laptop has? That's right, it's the one with the cross. So my laptop is not compatible with this setup. So, do you know what a USB external sound card is? Do you know what a USB external sound card is?
I do now.
You do now, because I remembered that you were quite panicked when you were like, what's a USB external sound card? I was already in the process of, I would like to say Googling it, but no, I was straight on Amazon. And, sorry for those who can't see me right now, do we remember this guy? I'll bring you back into the fold. Do we remember this guy? This guy, with these and this, which is USB and two like headphone ports, that is a USB external sound card. So when the instruction manual says not included, that is not true, because it is included. Have I said how long it took us?
No, I don't think so.
So we switched off to switch audio about 48 hours ago at this point in time. It took 2 hours and about 15 YouTube videos. How many searches would you say you did on Google for various things?
Half a dozen.
You were changing all the settings on the laptop. I was internally freaking out because all I could see was the fact that we were going to have to go back.
I was changing the settings, but I also knew what I was changing, and
She didn't know what you were changing.
I did. I googled.
It's fine.
Dr. Google helped.
So I was like, we're definitely going to need to go back to the USB mics. That might have been what started the thought process. Something I realised was that all the videos that I watched up to this point, I've never made any notes of who those people doing the videos were so that I can send you in their direction. Ultimately, I knew in my ever so slightly technological brain that this setup should work. I'd done enough research to know that this setup should work. And by setup, I mean the condensed microphones with the XLR cables the XLRs should plug into the mixer, as we knew that they did. We did a long, oh shit, it's going to break if I plug it in like this. Oh wait, no it isn't. Bit on the last bit. And I knew that this mixer had phantom power. That was an absolute definite. And these microphones, if you don't power them sort of externally, let's say, with the boxes that are in the boxes, they need phantom power. We were covered by that. The sketchy stuff came about getting the audio out of the mixer into the laptop. 2 hours. 2 hours of trying. You were trying settings on the laptop. I was watching videos on YouTube. The reason, I keep coming back to, the reason that this video and audio, more like I say, more video than anything, exists, is because there is hands down not one single video in existence that allows you to do this setup, or helps you do this setup. It doesn't exist. Like, I found this one guy, and he was great, and he was like, if you want to do this, you plug it in like this, if you want to do that, plug it in like that. And then the next thing he's like, what you want is, you've got your other person on the computer, and he started plugging one wire where he had two, and I was like, so you're now not doing what I want. There was a young girl who was talking about her podcast setup, and she kept talking about getting the audio out of the mixer and plugging it into the laptop via USB. That was like the birth of the idea and ultimately the answer. But it took us, it was 2 hours.
It was
And
early
then
when you packing away.
So I started breaking everything down. I started taking the cameras off the stands. I collapsed 2 of the stands. I unplugged 2 of the cameras. And it was like little pieces clicked together. So I'm like, that girl she'd actually done 2 videos. She'd done a long one and a short one. And she was adamant about plugging in via USB. And I was like, but I can't plug in via USB. I've got 4 mics, all of this. But she was using one of those cables. I'm going to show you the setup in a minute. It's going to be a little bit awkward. I think Leanne's going to have to hold the mixer up and I'll talk you through it. But she kept talking about USB. And I, at that point, went back to the instructions. And I found the bit. We'd spoken about the way I was plugging the headphone jack. I don't know what size it is. I know one of them's 3.5mm. The way I was plugging it in, and I kept saying, it's only got 1 port, and that port is for a headset and a microphone. So that was part of it. Went back to the thing, found the picture, read the note, and went, this can't be done. It can't be done through that port. Then it said about the external, I've put the thing away typically. Then it said about the external, the USB external sound card. I'm like, when you hear sound card and you're talking about like computers and stuff, that to me sounds like a computer component. That was not the case. Amazon search, sound card, how much is this going to cost me to get this up and running? And every single one of the pictures was one of those things. And I'm like, well, we've got this. Previous to that, there was absolutely nothing going on the mixer. And I kept saying, we should be seeing lights. We should be seeing the lights on the side of the mixer going up and down to denote that the microphone's working. I was like, I don't think the mics are working. So that was itself a problem, all this. Turned out in my preparation for the mixer, part of the video of the guy who was doing really well until he started trying to get sound from his laptop into his mixer, he was talking about the knobs. He was like, set all of your knobs to the middle. He was like, the 2 you want to focus on is the top little black one, and those are for making big changes to your sound, and then the bottom grey one is for making micro changes. When I looked, the little black one was turned right down, and the grey one for the micro adjustments, the one that for my microphone was turned right down, and for Leanne's was turned up ever so slightly. So I was like, oh, well, these black ones need to move. Turn the black ones up. Next thing, lights start flashing. So I'm like, well, now we know that the mics are working. We just have to get the sound out. That was when the USB stuff came up. And then eventually plugged the cable into the USB external sound card. Plugged that into the USB. Still wasn't working. We knew that the mics were working and we knew it was plugged in correctly. You found a thing. Do you want to go through what you found about scanning for devices?
Oh, that was just something on Google. A tip for Audacity is to rescan for devices that you might have switched over, and it brought up some different options.
So you did that?
It recognised the USB straight away.
You did?
As an option, but you had to rescan for devices to actually make it functional.
To make a connection there. Yeah. So there was a point where we were like, oh, something happened. Then it wasn't. And then I turned one of the black knobs, and next thing, blue lines start appearing. If you'll hear me on various podcasts talking about blue lines or fat blue lines or whatever. Those are always good sound when you're using Audacity or a recording method, because you can physically see the audio.
It's sound waves, isn't it?
Sound waves. So there's all of that, and next thing I'm like, these knobs are turned down. Turn them up. We're seeing fat blue lines. We played it back, and it nearly blew the speakers on the laptop. Little speakers, massive audio. So I was like, whoa. Turn the little black knobs down. realised that Leanne was getting a better sound than me. Her grey knob was turned up, mine was turned down, so I turned mine up, turned hers up, and we had somewhere in the region of about 20 sound tests for like not even 10 seconds. And we just tweaked and tweaked and tweaked, brought the black knobs down, brought the grey knobs up, brought the black knobs back up a bit, brought the grey ones down, made all the tweaks, and basically 2 hours after stopping the recording and the video, we found a reasonable level. I mean, I'm looking at this now and I'm thinking it's probably still too loud. I read a thing, or I saw a thing that says if your audio jumps into the red, it's too loud. Oh, on the principle, that makes it easier for people listening, because you can just turn it down. I mean, those lines are huge. But like I say, I'd rather you turned it down than couldn't hear us.
You could leave it at the settings it is, but move the microphone further away.
Yeah. The idea is that I can do this,
and still be
and
heard.
I can talk, and there's still blue lines there, and you can see my face and stuff. I've just got it enclosed for, at the moment I don't know what distance. So I did a podcast last night with the new equipment, got a crick in my neck because this wasn't set up quite how I wanted it to be set up. So we've just been doing that. Set the cameras off to record. Press record on Audacity. Nothing. Checked all the cables, checked all the power, unplugged things, all that. It turned out that the cable that's going in over there,
Going into the sound card,
had come out a little bit. So that solved that problem. So stopped all the cameras, restarted the cameras, and started the audio, and here we are now. So, at this moment in time, we've got these two mics up and running. They seem to be working pretty well. They look pretty good. We've got, in these boxes, there's still 2 more microphones. The idea there is that we're going to sort of mic this end of the room, but it's just me and her. Who's she? Cat's liver. Cat's mother.
Cat's liver.
Cat's liver. Chopped liver.
Is that what you said?
Probably. And typically, tomorrow, we've got 4 people coming for a podcast. I'm one of them. I've got 4 people going. I've got 3 people coming, and I'm the 4th. So we need to get these guys set up, which, just want to hold up that there's the bracket. We were just testing it on tables.
I think we showed this on Sunday.
We showed that on the original setup. Yeah. We've just been testing it on tables to see if we can put it on a table, because in my head I wanted to attach it to the windowsill, but the windowsill lip isn't deep enough. So, as with a lot of things, we have to adjust and move on. Do you guys remember that I originally thought that these cables might not be long enough? Well, I said at the time, in my basket, I had some additional cables. These be them. I was talking about these. Talking about these earlier, saying I like it when you get companies like this, because this company has sent me 2 cables. It's very good of them. I mean, obviously, I paid for them. So. But in the bag, there's these guys, which is 2 little cable ties that are velcroed together. There is actually 2 there. And to my knowledge, that wasn't on the description. They were just in the bag. 2 little cable ties. And I was like, stuff like that's cool. They've just sent those. They were in the bag. So, the reason being is that these 2 mics are probably at full tension on the cables. And the mixer's this side of the room. If we started moving the mixer that way, we're not going to get it too far before it's at full tension. And we want mics over this end of the room. So that's not going to work. So, this is 3 metre worth of cable. And I was like, oh man, I'm going to have to plug one end into the mic and then the other end into the mixer, and I'm going to have to not use the cable that's in the back of the mic, and the other one's going to be hanging out of the arm, and it's a bit of a waste of a cable and all this. Something that I'd seen was that there's a possibility that these cables will fit together. And every now and then you see mentioned that this is not only an XLR cable, but it's a extension cable. So part of me was like, I wonder if you can just extend this by using these. First thing I did, these turned up today, which I need them for tomorrow. First thing I did was take this end and this end. Remember, these are called male and female. Male and female. Good anatomy there. And there's 3 pins in there, 3 holes in there. There's a hole in here and there's a clip on here. So when we do this, those puppies clip together. So this is an extension cable. Don't know what that's going to do for the audio. Obviously, you're sending your sound that little bit further. You send it through different components and stuff. But right now, I am actually super happy that that is a thing. Right up until tomorrow when they don't work and we can't record a podcast. So, that's that. I just thought I'd mention that in case anybody's thinking they need to extend the microphone all the way across the room. Sorry about the sound. Right, at this point in time, I think we'll talk through the last bit of the setup, which is going to involve, potentially, my glamorous assistant holding up the mixer to her camera.
You just pick up the wire off the PlayStation.
So,
I think that should be.
What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move that.
I imagine it was visible, but.
And do that. And then. So, that is the mixer setup. Can you point to the first XLR cable? That there is microphone 1, which is me. Next one is microphone 2, which is
me.
If you point to the little black knobs under there, these are the little black knobs. I believe they're called gain, and they're about getting the sound. Like these are the small adjustments make big adjustments, like the guy in the video said. I've not made that up myself. I stole that from someone. And if you point to the grey knobs at the bottom, these grey knobs are the big adjustments make small adjustments. So those are for fine tuning, and the little black guys are for big adjustments. In the right hand side, what does it say for where those cables are plugged in?
That was
it main?
Main out.
So main out, I used my noggin. Main out to me sounded like a good bet. The other one that was mentioned was something like control out.
Control out. Yeah.
Control out.
Control
that was mentioned as
out,
well.
Up here.
But that's how we've got it working, and I'm happy with that. Something, you just point to the slider.
Yeah, down here.
That, another way that we could get it to work was to push it all the way up. It had to be all the way up. And just raise your finger to the button. That is the phantom power. So you turn that on, and it's phantom power to your condenser microphones with your XLR cables. I've left all the other knobs in the middle. The only knobs I haven't made any adjustments to is the 2 little black ones and the 2 little grey ones, and the 2 big grey ones to get these 2 mics working. Tomorrow I'm going to have to try and get the other 2 working, so I'll have to adjust those knobs and the little black ones and the grey ones. Fingers crossed that's going to work. If you go back and refer back, the white and the red cable, point to the white and the red cable, is currently running out there. I think those ends are the 3.5mm, which that means I've no idea what. You'll know what I mean. I showed you at the time. It's the
3.5mm is a little headphone.
So that's jack. The other end.
Yeah.
So that must be.
Is it 8.5 or something?
16 or something. Big fat plug-ins and little headphone plug-in. So the other end plugs into the microphone port of the USB external sound card, And that plugs into your USB port on your laptop. You just need to use Audacity, like Leanne was saying. Do a scan for any audio devices, but Audacity found the USB straight off the bat. It just needed to do a connection.
And that's in the transport menu on Audacity.
Transport menu, Audacity.
Near the bottom.
The other black cable is just the power cable. Not super brilliant, I'm going to be honest with you. It's not great. It's not like, it's one of those where you push it in, it's like, is that in? It doesn't feel very secure. It feels a little bit like I want to push it a bit more. However, it's in, there's power, the mics are powered. It's working.
Probably worth mentioning that it runs very hot. I presume that's to do with the phantom power.
The phantom power aspect, so the right hand underneath is really hot, like red hot. The power pack, there's a power pack on the floor, which is like, you know, when you get like a cable and you get the little box in the middle of the cable, that also runs very hot. Did see something about the heat and the heat aspect needing to be replaced on these, and there was a tutorial on YouTube for replacing them. She didn't fill me with a lot of confidence, but we'll see. Do you want to put that down? And I'll move that camera. So, that is that basically. If you are watching on YouTube, you'll see that we're using cameras, the same cameras I've always used. If I'm honest, those are probably the next things that I'll look at beefing up, or what would be more sensible is the ways to look to better implement these cameras. Not having a zoom's a bit of an issue, but the thing I set out to do, which was get better audio, I'm hoping has been achieved with this setup. We'll know more when we've got 4 voices trying to talk at once and stuff tomorrow.
You'll also know more when you actually come to code and edit.
Yeah, so I haven't coded anything yet. I am sort of thinking that the sound's probably going to be a little higher than what I'm used to. But I'm also thinking it's going to be a little cleaner. When we were doing those sound tests, when we were bringing the audio down and we were getting somewhere close, immediately you could hear how crisp that sound was, how good that sound was. So, fingers crossed, we might have actually done it. So, one of the quickest, took 3 hours end to end, and that's, like I say, why I did this video. Because there's nothing out there. I honestly don't know how people do it with no help. Because I'm like, I can't get the information from YouTube. I went onto the company's website. I went on Google. There was nothing out there to get this exact setup. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm trying to do some kind of weird setup. But to me, I'm trying to put condenser microphones through a mixer into a laptop. That seems simple to me. As a simple setup. Maybe that's not the case. I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying. Maybe I'm doing it wrong.
Maybe the people that have done this prior to you have a better knowledge. They've worked with audio equipment. They understand
Potentially
how.
I mean, a lot of this stuff is used for like studios and stuff. I know that you can plug guitars into this mixer, and you can, DJ equipment and stuff like that. So I presume people using it not have a knowledge of audio, and to them it's just second nature.
Straightforward.
But presumably they also had to learn it originally. As with anything like this, I hope this video or audio, if you can get what you need from the audio, I hope it's been helpful and useful. Do you think we've missed anything?
I don't think so.
I'd love to say I could tell you all the other videos I watched, kind of working on the principle that really I've collated all of those together into this video and audio.
Presumably you were just searching for
Behringer
mixer,
mixer connecting microphone.
sort of thing.
that sort of stuff. My biggest search was getting an audio from Behringer Mixer to laptop. So you could search for that, but I'm hoping that this is giving you something. And our pitfalls might not be your pitfalls. I don't know. Anything else from you?
Nothing from me. No.
And I think that might be it from me.
Call it a wrap.
Thanks for tuning in. Audio listeners, like I say, it's probably a bit more of a video. There was a lot of show and tell. I don't know how this comes across as audio, but I imagine if you're listening to it as audio and are aware that the YouTube video exists, then if you need to know what we're talking about visually, you can go to YouTube and look. If you managed to make it this far, or if you managed to get the information that you needed from the video and the audio and stuff like that, cool. Recommend it to your friends, so on and so forth. Like, share, comment. I'm sure I'll have put that on already, but please,
check it out.
This is information that I'm putting out into the world because I couldn't find it. So that's the deal. And there we go. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later.
See you later. So there you go. What do you think? I mean, that's how you do it, kids. That's all I can tell you, I'm afraid. If I'm honest, having done an hour and nearly 40 minutes of podcast and video and stuff like that, I realise that there probably just needs to be like a little snippet video that just literally shows how to plug it all in. So probably going to do that further down the line. We'll see. If you're not watching on YouTube, this one might be a little bit lost on you. So you need to get yourself over to YouTube, check us out over there, watch the video, because it'll probably make a bit more sense. Everybody jump over to Cookiecast.com, check us out over there, send us some love. So that's it. Until next time, who knows what the next podcast, stroke video, stroke whatever might be, but certainly check it out. But until then, I'll say bye, and I'll see you later. Bye.